And we're back here at Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, having a conversation with Jocelyn Bamford. She is co-host of Canadian Innovators here at the News Forum. She is vice president of Automatic Coding Limited and the founder of Concerned Coalition of Manufacturers and Businesses. Jocelyn, wanted to talk a little bit about not manufacturing, but also the oil and gas sector. I guess we've talked about that a little bit already, but what do you see as the future for resources extraction in this country under a Carney government?
Yeah, they've already indicated, and everything that you see, including if you want some reading to keep you up at night, this is a document that Mark Carney co-authored, which is mainstreaming net zero economy and mainstream transition. So everything Mark Carney talks about, believes in, is about net zero and keeping oil and gas in the ground. And that is just, we have seen after years and years in Europe and other places that that relying on solar and wind is unsustainable. It only is sustainable when it's subsidized by the taxpayer. And you could see the reason that the Liberals fought so hard. And when you look at what happened with the Green Slush Fund, is they want to continue to fund that machine of green energy that takes tax dollars from ordinary Canadians and small to medium-sized business and gives it to large corporations. So the continuing on of crony capitalism is what they're all about. And if you read this document, the most frightening thing is that in the document, they say if you don't subscribe to their green agenda to net zero, and let's face it, we are a corrosion coder. We can't operate without natural gas. It just doesn't work. And there's so many industries that can't make that transition. You net zero us out of business. But they say if you don't subscribe to net zero, that you should be debanked. That means you shouldn't get loans or have a bank to do business with, and deinsurance. So that document has been out there. I don't know why that wasn't more publicized by the conservative in this election, because it's a frightening document. When you read through, there's a lot of companies that have different political philosophies than I do, but by no means do I think that if they don't subscribe to my political beliefs, they shouldn't get banking and they shouldn't get insurance. But the Mark Carney believes that, and that's who people voted for, and that is terrifying to me because that's an assault on our freedom and free enterprise. And again, a marketing failure on the conservative side that they didn't have this document out in front of every Canadian.
Yeah, indeed. No, thanks for mentioning that. And just more broadly, there still is a debate on net zero. I know the eco extremists would like that debate to be over, but I just noticed in the news that former British Labour Prime Minister Tony Blair has declared that net zero should not be the goal of the UK, that it's going to impoverish people, ruin industry, and that there has to be a turnaround on this, which is coming from a Labour prime minister, is extraordinary. Can we have that kind of discussion in this country, do you think?
Well, not with the current leadership, but we ought to. And what is absolutely mind-boggling to me is Canada absorbs more carbon than they emit. We are less than 1.5% of the world's greenhouse gases. And if you take our forest in that equation, we already are at zero emissions. So why we wouldn't get our resources to market. And this is how you know that it's really not about the environment. Because if it was about the environment, we would get our clean liquefied natural gas to China and India and have them come off coal. And the fact that they don't want to do that, they want them to buy natural gas and oil from regimes that don't have the environmental protections that we have, tells you all we need to know.
What do you think that Mark Carney, he seems to, at least his words during the campaign were different from previous announcements. Do you think that he's changing his mind on these things?
I think he was trying to get elected. I am not confident that someone that's so entrenched and has had so much personal benefit from the green energy uh, will change their direction. I don't believe it.
We will find out together. We're going to have another segment with Jocelyn Bamford. We're going to take a brief break. Please join us after these messages.